the video chat. We don't usually do that shit, but
Yeah, but it's completely necessary right now.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure this is gonna continue for a while
Yeah.
because it's a good, uh, I guess, outlet or resource. You know what I mean? A good platform to have conversations with a lot of people at the same time without too much interference or anything like that.
Right. Fucking with the social distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, just get into it. Like I want to say thank you for, doing this with me, being a part of this. And like I was telling you earlier, it's been a little bit of a struggle to like get going because something I never done before, trying to get out the comfort zone. As you know, this is like complete like 180 from my normal type of shit. I'm not usually talking on the internet or like posting shit about myself. So I know it's rough, but thank you for being a part of it. I appreciate it. And I think you can, uh, I've known you for a while, and I think you have a lot of value to bring people and like your story and, just what you're doing right now in the community and making a name for yourself. I respect it. And I think a lot of other people will also. So thank you.
Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate you even having me on here. You've been one of my biggest supporters since day one. So, we go way, way back and like that. You haven't switched up on me. You haven't changed a bit. So I appreciate you, man. And any way I can help, not only you, but the community, anybody else really, I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, and that's what I love about it. I know we share similar in like interest and points of views sometimes. But why don't you go ahead and like throw out your handles? I know it's at JonnyBubonik on Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
much Johnny Bubonic on anything, you can search it, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm on all that. I'm just not on TikTok yet, but
oh
I have a feeling that if I do, it might go viral. I ain't
yeah.
doing no damn dance, so you miss me with
the
all them Tuesday slides
the
and all that
Tuesday
shit.
slide, yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? I don't want to get too far into that, but you know how he went out like Ronda Rousey in the UFC. It's like
Damn.
he Pusha T like was Holly Holm, kicked
Mm.
Ronda in the mouth and broke her jaw, and she never really bounced back, and not to say Drake doesn't do his thing, but boy got his jaw broke, metaphorically speaking, and
Ah, bro, that's a
and
hard
then
one to listen to.
bounces back with this cha-cha slide shit, you know what I mean? Like, and the reason I say he went out like Ronda is because Ronda was like, you know what? I can't really fight anymore. Let me go do this WWE shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really fighting. Well, I ain't got to worry about no Pusha T's or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, but I thought that was funny. So, with that being said,
No, with
keep that man's out of any top 10 list. Period.
the Tusi slide, bro, I couldn't believe it. But I know people are banging it, so if that's your shit, that's your shit.
I mean, I ain't hating, but you can miss me with all that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I just
exactly.
talk my shit.
So I mean, during this time of like, everybody quarantining and stuff, has it affected your work at all? Like, I know you constantly trying to find new ways to, create new projects and things like that. So has it had any effect really?
You know what? It has, in a few different ways, but mostly, for the most part, I do a lot of like small businesses and mom and pop shops. I like to support local any way I can. And like that, I like to be able to bring my following and what I have to offer to their business. So whether it's like that, just having some of my art outside of their business, that could really draw a lot of people in sometimes. So
Did you ever
that,
have like the oh my bad.
yeah, so that in that aspect, a lot of these restaurants and small businesses are shut down right now. So I understand that artwork isn't necessarily a big priority right now.
Right.
And I wouldn't say it's not a priority for me because I need to create, and that's really what I've been doing is just creating for the sake of creating, without much deadlines or expectations. Like I'm just creating, focusing on myself right now.
Build that
Um, but
portfolio
yeah, and like that, trying to get my ducks in line.
for
But
sure.
but that's something I'm always trying to do. Even this quarantine stuff. Like I'm usually cooped up in the studio or just working on stuff by myself anyway. So
Yeah.
I really don't mind it. But like I said, just some projects are kind of on hold. Luckily I still have clients calling me for other projects and smaller things like shoes and hats and canvases and things like that. So
Nice.
aside from the murals, I have a lot of different outlets and different, like you said, different ways of expressing or displaying my art. So
Right. Yeah, I
just
saw on your
trying to
story.
think of new ways, like you said.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I was speaking of new ways. I saw the shoe painting, the airbrushing. I hadn't seen you do that before. It's something new, right?
Yeah, and
Or
actually, I've done it before, but I'll be honest, it's not my favorite thing to do.
yeah.
Uh, if it involves more tape than paint, you can count me out. But
Yeah,
these shoes I'm working on specifically are for a very very close family member, a loved one of mine. So that's
gotcha.
why I'm doing them. And it's funny, I've been getting a lot of requests like, oh, can you do something for me? I
On
don't.
the
I try.
shoes?
Yeah, and I try my best not to turn things down. But like I said, this is one of those things that I might be able to do it, but it's not really my favorite thing to do. But
Uh,
depending on the demand, you know, I'm like I said, I try not to turn anything down. So if the money's right, and I hate to say that because I'm not really all about the money. Like I said, if it's I have to enjoy it, but for
it
certain
is a
people and,
factor.
and close ones, um, I like to do special projects and really challenge myself too. This is also a learning experience for me. And like that, just seeing if it is something I can do or I would like to do. Cause like I said, there's so many different ways of doing it. And that market to me is already flooded with a ton of talented people.
Hmm.
And like I said, I could do it, but I'm always looking for a better way of developing my style, like
Right.
especially with the hats and things like that, like stuff that people don't normally do or like that people can't do. You know what I mean? Is that's where I really like to shine or put my effort in.
Right. That's huge too. That's I feel like similar to this podcast, me trying it, like you said, just trying new things, trying to challenge yourself. So that's super dope. And you can always do that when you're trying to be creative. Like
Yeah,
um
you never really know until you try it. Some of these, actually, most of the things that I do now, um, a lot of times that's how it starts. Is just, hey, I wonder if I can do this, and then I do it just to say that I did it.
oh yeah, I like
and
that.
and I usually don't let myself down. But going back to the shoes, I did um, I did attempt some shoes a few years ago, and the approach I was trying to take didn't really work out, and um, it kind of frustrated me and discouraged me from really trying it again. And I wasn't really happy with that. Like I was really like discouraged from it, and not like down on myself, but I couldn't believe that I let all these other factors keep me from just doing these shoes because I could have done them, but like I said, the approach that I wanted to do them with didn't really work out. So um, maybe about 6 months ago, I did some Chucks, some Hot Wheels, um, little Converse
Hmm.
with flames and stuff, and actually that was like my first pair of shoes that I really did, and they came out really cool. So I was like, oh yeah, so I can do them. And then you know, my cousin, she asked me if I could do these shoes for her, and I'm like, yeah, of course. And then, like I said, now the requests are coming in, so we'll see. We'll see how it
Yeah,
plays out. Like
I
I
mean,
try not to, I try not to limit myself too, you know, like that, because shit, who knows? Murals might take a little back burner, and you know, I might get 10 shoe requests, you know. So
no, yeah,
it
that's one thing. Like you said, we've known each other for a while, and I've been able to see like your progress throughout the years, and like you taking on new, um, new avenues of creating new types of artwork, and I think that's like super helpful for people right there. Is like failing, obviously gonna get a little discouraged. Maybe some people are stronger not to, but uh, yeah, it takes a lot to like keep going, to 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 keep fighting that, like that urge to like almost give up on it because it didn't go the right way the first
yeah,
the first go round.
yeah. It's that self-doubt. Once that self-doubt starts to set in, you know, you start to question if you can do it or not, or if it's worth it, or you know what I mean. But you forget the reason why you started it or why you even tried it in the first place.
Right.
So it's a mentality I try to apply to everything in life. You know, if like that, sometimes you got to try it just to try it, see if you like it, see if you don't like it. If you do like it, then you know what to do better the next time you try it, or don't want to try it at all again. You know, just forget about it. You know, but I'm I'm very open minded in the sense that like I said, I'm really willing to try anything and everything, and you know, like that. Not just in my own work, but you know, in life. You know, I want to try different flavors and see different things and experience different ways of life, you know, because that opens your mind to new possibilities and new beginnings and new hobbies that you're like, wow, I would have never thought that I would be doing this. So
Right. I love that, new beginnings. That's how I'm feeling
yeah,
about this podcast.
you're never too old to start something new, or like that. Just try something
Try
out. Like,
something different.
yeah, exactly. And like I said, that's just something I try to incorporate with everything. Like I was just telling my aunt yesterday, like I used to hate cranberry juice until one day I tried it and I was like, damn, I can't believe I've been missing out on this shit. Like, but like
I
that,
feel that.
when you get, and like that, something so simple, you know, you get so close minded about it. You're like, man, there's no way I would ever do that. And then you try it and you're like, wow, this is really cool. Like,
Yeah, I actually
can't
enjoyed
believe,
this.
I
I've
can't
been
believe I
missing out.
cheated myself out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. See, like this, like I like doing this. I like having these conversations and stuff. And then when I fell off and missed some time, I it like completely flipped on me. It had me like stressing. It was like, damn, I made this commitment. Um, it like it took all the fun out of it away. It took all the fun out of it. And I was sitting there like contemplating for like a couple hours trying to put out some short little clip just so I could put something out, and I wasn't happy with none of them. And eventually I was like, what am I doing to myself? Like why am I stressing so hard? Like obvious it's going to work out. I was just putting like too much pressure on myself, and like today it's already been much more productive than it was the past few days, regarding this podcast. So yeah, just trying not to, you know like you said, be so close-minded about it.
yeah,
And
I think, yeah, I think you're doing fine, man. Don't lose the fun in it, because I'll tell you, that's something I've done. You know, you've known me damn near 20 years now, and like that, this is something I've always done just because it's something I like to do. You know, and before it involved money and you know trading things and like that, before it was my full-time gig. Like I said, I just did it because I like to do it. So once it became more of like a job, I started to enjoy it less.
right.
And that started to stress out on it. And it's like, whoa, you know, I had an epiphany one day, and I was like, man, like I've prayed for days like these. Like this is something I wanted to do my whole life, you know, and I've prayed for it. I've manifested it, and like here it is, and I'm not happy. Like
Right.
what is wrong with me? You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like that, I had to kind of take a step back and find some new things, like that, new beginnings, new projects to really inspire me and help me grow and just reignite that flame. You know what I mean? And like that, just get me back to enjoying it. Um, you know, there's something too that I wanted to speak on. Um, there's over the years, man, I've been doing this almost 10 years now, painting murals.
Right.
And I've only been doing it full time for, you know, a couple years now, but I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. And, you know, like that, there's times where, like you said, you know, you put all this pressure on yourself to perform for somebody else or to do something for somebody else, and you kind of forget why you're doing it, you know. But along the way, man, there's a ton of projects that, you know, seem so promising, and you know, you get your hopes up for, and they fall through. And a lot of times it's something that you can't control, you know, something that you never foresaw coming, you know. And I just want people to know that that's okay, you know what I mean? Like, don't beat yourself up if something doesn't work out the right way
Yeah.
or the way you think it was supposed to work out the first time around, because man, there's been plenty of times where I've thought that, like, man, like that was gonna be it. Like that was gonna be my, I mean, my big chance. Like that was gonna be this and that. And I never count myself out, but a lot of times those things that seem so promising, like I said, don't work out for a reason. And like that, you gotta just keep rolling, keep moving, keep progressing. Don't let these little things stop you, because sometimes, man, they work out better than you had ever imagined, you know.
Oh yeah.
And like that, that's again something I kind of try and think about or apply to life too, because like that, sometimes you want something so bad, and like that, it just doesn't work out the way you imagined it, or it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. But it's like, don't let that stop you or discourage you. Just keep
Yeah,
moving,
it's
keep growing, keep pushing forward. And like that, those things sound so cliche, but it's like, man, don't let yourself hold you back, because you know,
exactly.
right now you mentioned the pressure of like, damn, I made this commitment, you know what I mean? And it's like, you only made that commitment to yourself, so you're only really letting yourself down. And like that, don't beat yourself up for it. Like,
Yeah, and that's what I was
you
doing,
it
and I
seems
think
it seems like you're really enjoying it already, so like that, don't let it stop you, because there, like I said, some, you have a family, man, so there's things that pop up. There's a lot of shit that can, I wouldn't necessarily go wrong, but there's things that take priority over
absolutely,
other
absolutely,
things, you know what I mean?
100%.
So like that, just don't let it stop you, man. Keep grinding. I love to see people grow and progress, and like
Same.
that. And if I would have stopped like drawing because I thought, man, I suck, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have even gotten this good, you know what I mean? If I would have said
Right.
that back then, because even sometimes I'll see work from a year or two ago, and I'm like, damn, I did that. Like, she was trash, you know what I mean? But like that, you got to keep pushing, keep grinding to get to where you want to really be. So
Keep leveling up.
just some words of encouragement, man. Keep going, keep
No,
grinding.
yeah, I appreciate that, and you know, I kind of speak the same type of word. It's just, and I think I practice it just as much as I say it. But like I said, this is a new journey that I'm embarking on, so it took a toll on me. Like it caught me slipping, and uh, you know, like I said, it caught me slipping because I was almost doubting myself enough because of what I expected to happen. I set this commitment for myself, so I'm expecting something from myself, basically. And like you said, I kind of let myself down, but I was like, exactly, there are there is another day, hopefully. Um, but yeah, shit just keeps rolling. I can continue to dwell on it, or I can wait till tomorrow, get some more stuff done, and just keep rolling with it, like you said. But
The
yeah,
reason I
it's just
say that too, man, is because I've let myself really get in the way of myself, you know,
right.
and really all up here, there was a time where I really was doubting myself and was almost to the point of like just going and getting another job, another 9 to 5, and just taking the easy route. You know what I mean? But like that was just me getting in my head. And actually, what really pulled me out of thinking that way was that piece that you're standing or sitting in front of right now. Um, that really reignited like the motive I had behind what I was doing, and like how it affects other people. And that's what really keeps me going sometimes, is just seeing the way art touches other people and the way it makes people feel. And that's exactly what I felt when I was painting that piece right there.
That's
um
amazing. And I probably should have let you know, or probably should have thrown the shout out. That is Johnny's piece back there. It's in I gave you the shout out in like the first or second video. I had to, you
I gotta catch up, man. I still gotta watch the rest.
yeah, it's all good. But yeah, Johnny's mural, the late great Nipsey Hussle, the great. Um, but yeah, that's a good transition. You were probably like the first, you know, Nipsey fan that I ever really knew that was bumping Nipsey, like when we were in high school and maybe even prior to that. So I know Nipsey passing obviously had an effect on you, but what did his music do for you that, you know, inspired you or touched you, or his art that moved you?
Man, the one thing, and I'll tell you this one thing that really stuck with me, because like you said, I was listening to him in high school. And I went to a show, I want to say 2010, maybe right when we got out of high school, but it was Currency and Nipsey Hussle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I had been listening to him, but this is the first time I got to see him.
Yeah.
And I knew he was real, man. Like, just looking at him, you knew he was real, but he had on Dickies and a Louis belt. And it's like, it don't get much triller than that, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn, this boy is hard. Like, he's true to himself, like, period. You know what I mean? And that's something that I got from his music, is like, he's always been him. He's gonna make you love him just by being him. And like that,
Oh
he
yeah,
was, I mean, everybody talks about flossing and money and bitches and this and that, you know what I mean? But his music always had substance. It always
for
was
sure.
something that you could relate to, and he was always speaking something real, speaking something positive, or like that, trying to motivate you to own property and own your own rights to your music. Like, it was all about being independent, something that I've learned from Tech Nine. Um, never switch up, never change and conform to what they expect you to be, because they're gonna love you either way. And like that's kind of what I got from Nip too. So
Oh
those
yeah,
two independent giants really molded me into being able to do what I do independently. Like, nah, I don't need anybody else. And not that I'm trying to be like self-made or I don't need help, but like, when you are 100% yourself, you know, they're either gonna hate you or love you. And I'd rather be, what I mean, loved for who I am or hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So speaking on that a little bit, like I know you've had, you've blown up in the city a little bit over the past few years. I mean, not a little bit. You got quite a bit. Uh, so and you're tall, you're a standout kind of guy. Like when you're in a crowd, like you can tell you're there. So what is it like being approached by like random fans or like, people you don't know and things like that?
It's something I'm still, getting used to. Um, Sometimes people are like, "Oh, you kind of downplay yourself, like, or you don't think you're like anybody important." But it's like, nah, I try not to come off as big headed, but still takes me by surprise when people are like, "Hey, you're that guy," or sometimes I'll just be standing like, yeah, anywhere, and somebody will like tap my shoulder and be like, "Hey, I just wanted to say I love your work," or "I just wanted to say keep doing your thing. Like we love what you did with this or that." And it's like, again, that's what keeps me going, is seeing how it affects other people, and seeing how like that it inspires them. A lot of artists tell me, they're like, "Man, you really motivate me to keep me going and inspire me to try new things and do different things." And like,
That's
I
amazing.
always tell I always tell them, there's plenty of work out here. There's no room there's no room for hating, really, because like that, there's plenty of work out here for all of us to eat, and like that, not just work, but like there's plenty of shine. Like, and I
Yeah.
love to see a young artist shine. So
Yeah. How
like
do you
that,
think that culture is like with art in Tucson, of like artists supporting artists or, just the community in general supporting local artists?
I think over the years, man, it's really grown tremendously.
Hmm.
Like that, within the past maybe 3 to 5 years, I would say. And even the last 10 years, it's changed a lot since I've came around. But I feel like there wasn't much support for a while. And like everybody loves murals and stuff, but like now there's a lot more support for it and people wanting them everywhere, and like that, on the outside of their business, on the inside of their business, in their homes, in barber shops, in every line of business you can imagine. There's some sort of capacity for some sort of artwork or logo design, or like that, some mural, something to welcome their customers. You know what I mean? And
I feel you.
and like that, that's, I think, where the support has really grown. You know, I think now even there's a lot of artists that are starting to work together, um, which is a beautiful thing too. I try and reach out because, like I said, there's a ton of work out here and there's a ton of talented people, man. So I don't ever, like I said, want to seem big headed or seem like I'm trying to take everything from myself. Because it's like, yeah, I'll show you what I do. I'll teach you how to do what I do. Because I mean, shit, there's, like I said, there's plenty of work out here. There's plenty of wall space. So I'm always trying to encourage people to, like that, just put it out there. That's one of the biggest things. And again, mentioning that piece in the back, like I could have painted that in the backyard or at the studio or something, but it was being in the public and like that, seeing people's reactions. People were pushing me out of the way while I was painting when I needed to take pictures of it or with it. And like that just made me very like proud to see like again how it touches people and makes them feel. So I don't know if that answered the question. I might have went off on a tangent there,
Oh
but
no, you're all good. No worries. I actually wanted to ask you, as you were talking, I was thinking about what formulated this whole artistic element inside of you, like, because I've known you since, like you said, like damn near 20 years now. And ever since I known you, you've been drawing, you've been fucking coloring, designing, being creative. And it was something that I noticed right away because, I consider myself somewhat of an artist as well. But I always knew that, damn, Johnny's good. Like, he's really good. You know what I mean? So but that was like my intro to you. I like, you were already good at drawing and things like when we were kids already. So what like created that side of Johnny to, you know what I mean, to be creative or to be artistic? What do
Um,
you think it is? Or
it started out early, man. All my brothers are artists, and I'm the youngest of five, so I
okay.
had a lot of influence from them. But my nana was also very creative. She sewed a lot. I mean, she did her thing in the kitchen like every nana, but like that she did sewing. She did a lot of different little creative things around the house. My aunt does the same thing. My my Theo does the same thing too. He has
Oh, it's in
murals
the
in his
blood
house. Yeah, it's in the blood for
for
sure.
sure.
But what really got me going was, as a young little guy, like 4 or 5 years old, I used to sit there and go through my brother's black books. And even, after a night of bombing, they'd take me out for a ride the next morning and show me the spots that they hit. So graffiti is all I've really known since like that, a little guy, since I was like that 4 or 5 years old. It hooked me.
Right.
And once I got into kindergarten and first grade, I was the only kid like bombing letters, you know what I mean, and drawing different things. And during those times of like first and second grade, that's when I realized I had a little something different, because like that I would have kids lined up at my desk, or like that asking me to draw them stuff, or when the teacher would be like, all right, we have a project, we're gonna have to draw some stuff or create this or that, like the whole class would be like pointing at me. And I had my choice of who I wanted to work with, so it was like, okay, like
Oh yeah.
that was like, that's when I figured out that I had a little something different.
Yeah.
But even those early years, like, and this isn't speaking so much on the inspiration, but this is again kind of what got me going. But
Yeah.
they would call us into the parent teacher conferences and stuff, and they'd be like, he's a really good kid, but we just can't get him to stop drawing. He just won't do his work because he wants to keep drawing. And little did they know, like, this is what I planned to do the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Did you ever see that, like, looking back right now, being a full-time artist, was that, I mean, maybe it was in the plans, but did you ever see it happening, like, for real?
to be honest, man, no, never. Like, it was never even a reality to me. Like, and right now I just said like, oh, it's been my plan the whole time, but like, again, it was just something that I did because I like to do it. Like, I
Right,
didn't
right.
really see a future in it, and not that I didn't think I could make a future out of art, because
You were
there was,
just doing something you love to do.
yeah, but there was also like other outlets, like, okay, I could become a tattoo artist, which would make me
Mm,
money, or I could do other things
okay.
like that. But like painting graffiti, like, and I mean, I'm not out here bombing, everything up in the city, but it started with bombing and tagging, painting letters, and then like that worked my way up to portraits and the detailed stuff. So
Right.
um like I just always trying to learn, always sharpening my skills as much as possible. That's, like I said, it's something I apply to everything, is always trying to become better and sharper and
For
just
sure.
better all around.
How does the how do you get going, like, when like, ready to begin a project or ready to start formulating to, you know, start a project, things like that? What do you got to do to get going?
um I usually try and have some sort of like outline. Um, and not that I have to have every step planned out, but I kind of want to know what direction I'm headed in before I start going that way.
Do you got to be in like a studio setting or at home, or do you have to like feel the inspiration before you get going?
Yeah,
Or,
sometimes it's a little bit of everything. I've gotten pretty good at like being able to create, anywhere,
mhm.
but there are certain things that I have to have in line for me to like really, really get going. Like, I have to have my music, like whether it's on the headphones. I prefer it just loud, whether it's in the studio or like that. If I'm out in the open, like you can probably hear me before you see me, you know what I mean? But like that, the music's got to be there. The music helps my mind think, you know, and as a musician also, like I have to have music just to keep my mind ticking, you know. It almost inspires a different like part of my brain that just like keeps me thinking, you know, or
Turns
keep
it on.
yeah, trying, you know, because I get tired of the same old thing. Again, why I'm always trying new things and different things, because I get tired of repetition or, you know, the same old mundane tasks.
Right.
But
Do you
once the music's good, um, there can't really be too many distractions. Like I don't like nothing personal, you know what I mean? But like if kids are running around like messing with my paint while I'm trying to paint, like I've been in public settings, you know, trying to focus on what I'm doing, and kids are messing with my stuff, and it's like it could that gets hard for me to focus, you know what I mean? But like that once the music's there, the distractions are at a minimum, you know, that's when the cush sets in, you know what I mean? That's when I really have to like the cush really helps me just shake off the rest of the day, you know what I mean? Break
Yeah.
off the tension that I'm feeling from the rest of the day, kind of takes the pressure off of my shoulder from the rest of the day and lets me tune in and become one with whatever I'm working on, you know. I tune
I
into this like mind state, almost like a trance, where it's just like at that point nothing can distract me. But you know, like that, I wouldn't say I need the kush to create, but the kush helps me tune into that much more easily.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I mean I'm a supporter as well, you know. So I think it definitely helps you zero in. It like helps you zero in, but it's like you zero in and then it goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Once you there's just like endless possibilities to those thoughts and those, you know, what happens internally once, you know, like you said, the kush settles in.
yeah. Well, and like that, I need it almost to like you said, you know, the once the thoughts start to roll in, like sometimes I need it to not overthink, you know, because sometimes I'll be so busy or caught up in whatever I'm doing that I'll forget about it, and then I'll
Right.
I'll try and go right into painting, and then I'll notice just little things like going wrong, or start to get frustrated with little shit, and then I'm like, whoa, hold on, I didn't even hit no kush yet, so
Right.
then I gotta take a step back, you know, again reset. That's really what it does, is help me just reset,
Hmm.
and then it's like, oh, okay, and everything flows together better. Everything is just like second nature at that point. You know, I don't really have to think much about it. It's just like it's me and this wall or this canvas or this hat or whatever it may be, like I said.
Are there
And like
any
that,
oh my bad, go ahead.
now then I get lost in it, whatever it may be. Then, you know, a few hours goes by and I'm like, damn, I think it's 3 in the morning now.
Right?
So
When you get lost in your work, you can get lost in there for a long time.
yeah, exactly.
Um, are there any like who are your some of your favorite artists right now, either like locally mainstream or more popular than local? I don't know. Like
There's a lot of good artists in the city right now, man.
for sure.
And especially like doing what I do, there's quite a bit of competition. Um, but I think my favorite in the city right now, I would have to say, is this girl Jessica Gonzalez, man. She's really, really great. She's got these crazy like color schemes, man. Her layout is amazing. Um, I think she's giving a lot of these guys a run for their money for sure, even me. But like I said, I welcome that. I love seeing that. And to me, like the only way you're gonna get better is if somebody's coming for your position. You know what I mean? And I don't
Right.
think I'm at the top, but you know what I mean. You got to sharpen steel with steel. You know what I mean? You gotta
Right.
you gotta step your shit up, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like
it
that, just
creates a
because,
little level of competition. So,
yeah, and like that,
setting the
I
bar.
enjoy that. Yeah, I don't shy away from that. I enjoy that because like that, there's enough for us to all eat. So it's like, yeah, if you could help me be better at what I do, then shit, yeah, like I'm all for it. Like, and better yourself, like, because I love to see anybody winning, but like the fact that it's a woman in a male-dominated kind
I-
of realm,
Industry.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean, industry, whatever you want to call it, that's another reason to see her win. But I mean, there's a ton of other guys too that I like. Um, I just recently talked to one of my favorite artists. His name's El Mac. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, but he does these massive like portraits that are like single line, single stroke. Like I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, man. But it's just so simple, but beautifully done.
Right.
Um, and like that, he's doing massive scale stuff, and he's been doing it for years. He's got a few pieces here in Tucson, um, and has had pieces in Tucson years and years ago in the 90s, early 90s and early 2000s. But I saw him paint early on when I was just getting started, probably in like 2006, 2007, and instantly I was just like, man, this guy is fucking incredible. He's like a wizard. You know what I mean? He just
Mm.
is breathtaking. His work is breathtaking for real. But you know, there's guys like Revoke, who again started out with graffiti, you know, and have worked their way into the fine art world and like that gallery settings and like that are world renowned. And you know, that's something I aim to be soon enough, or eventually, is like that, be traveling the world, doing what I do, doing what they do, and like that, hopefully rub shoulders with some of these guys, because you know we got a lot in common. I think you'd really like this guy, Jersey Joe. His name's Rhyme, um, from MSK.
Jersey
Revoke
Joe.
is almost Yeah, Revoke is also from MSK, but yeah, Jersey Joe, man, you're gonna have to look him up. He's
Yeah, I'll check him out.
big
I,
on the psychedelics, man. He's got a crazy perspective on art and creation, and his work is amazing also. So, you know, much like my music, I try and follow artists and see how different their styles are, because everybody's got their own identity, you know, and
for sure.
that's what it's about, is finding your own self-expression. And like that, these guys really inspire me, and women too. You know, there's a lot of women. Like I said, I only mentioned Jessica, but like I said, I'm always looking at new things and learning new techniques, trying to find new ways of doing what I do better, you know?
Right. What what kind of advice would you give to like a younger you, or like a young inspiring artist, somebody who would want to just, be creative full time and be able to, you know, um, stand on their own 2 feet with their own artwork, their own projects.
Man, I just wish I would have, like, if I could tell myself anything, I wish I could have told myself to take it a little more serious, you know? Because like I said, I've always really had this talent. I've always really done what I do, but I didn't really, again, see a future in it at the time. So I was trying to figure out how to be like the best adult I could, I guess. Like it wasn't even about art at that time. I was just society, get a job, get a home, get a family, you know, all these kinds of things. But art, so like I said, I wish I would have just believed in myself and went harder then, you know. America planned it out this way. Like I said, this is just something that I've done for so long because it's something I love to do, and that's gotten me to where I'm at. But like I said, if I would have known then what I know now, I could have been way ahead of the game, you know.
Right.
But you know, just a word of advice is like that. Don't ever give up on you. You know what I mean? Always bet on you, because there's going to be a ton of people who doubt you, who don't believe in you. But if you don't believe in you, nobody's going to believe in you, really. So like that, once you believe in yourself and you believe in your work, um, and that's something I do strongly believe in, is my work. You know, I can teach somebody everything that I know and give them everything I have, but and not in a cocky way, but the confidence of it is like, yeah, I can give somebody all of that and they still can't do what I do.
Right.
But that's how you have to feel about your own work. It's like, yeah, no, like I said, not in a cocky way or think that you're better than anybody, but you have to know that nobody can do what you do
Right.
better than you.
Confidence.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do me, and that's really what's gotten me like that, some recognition around the city, and like that got people asking like, hey, you're that guy, you know. It's like, because I'm just me, and it's like, nah, I
For
didn't
sure.
I didn't really think I was that guy, you know. And that's, like I said, something I'm still trying to get used to, but
Oh, yeah, and I can
I,
attest to
I
it.
love.
Just like you told me earlier, you know, you know, in the support of you and your artwork, that I've been here doing that for you, and you know, I haven't seen you switch up and change your ways of like going with the popular route of like what's commercial, or just to get views and likes and shit like that. So very commendable, and I respect you for that and for doing shit your way. And it's a huge leap that I know you took to go and do your art full time. Like you said, I remember when you were in that transition of like trying to be the best adult, and then you're like, fuck man, I can't do this. Like I gotta take that shot, and you've taken it. And I think it's paying off for you, and it's going to pay off even greater with more time to come. So um yeah, I think that's a huge inspiration for a lot of people. It is for me, for sure. You definitely inspire me, and I appreciate it. And um, I think we're pretty good on time, so I think we could do it right there. Unless there's something else you want to try to get out, anything else you'd like to share with the people, I think we could like do this again another time for sure.
Yeah,
Because
for sure, man.
first go around, I know it's something you're trying to get more comfortable with. Also
Yeah, for
myself.
sure.
So is there
I just
anything
wanted to
you'd like
say,
to?
thank you, man, for having me on here and doing something
Thanks for
like,
doing it.
you know, you were talking about inspirations and like that. You've always pushed me to be a better man in general, better human in general, and you know, vice versa. We see a lot of things the same. You know,
Definitely.
like I said, right now you mentioned artists that inspire me, and you said something right now. You said, you know, I commend you for doing it my way. You know, that's another one, Sinatra, man. I did it my way, so I did it my way, and you know, again, that's something I want people to really understand is, you know, nobody can really figure out your path for you. You have to do it yourself, and like that, follow your heart. It's going to take some real sacrifice and some real ups and downs, but you know, you have to fight for what you really want in this life. So it's, like I said, it's all out there for you, but only you can stop you. So you got to believe in yourself. You got to really grind to get to where you want to be. But man, there's no feeling like doing what you love, and like that, getting some recognition for it. And like I said, I don't really care too much about, you know, all of that. It's more about like how it makes people feel, you know, and knowing that I can make people feel good, and if what you do makes people feel good, then like the money will come eventually. Don't even worry about that. You know, just like I said, focus on your craft, try and sharpen your your weapon as much as possible, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm always learning, always looking for ways to better myself. So never stop learning, never stop
Growing.
believing in yourself, really, like I said, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's gonna believe in you. So you have to convince them, because when they see how much you believe in yourself, oh, they're gonna have no question, no choice but to believe in you too. So
Hey,
I said I appreciate you always believing in me, man. Thank you for always encouraging me.
yes,
And
sir.
yeah, one day, man, we're gonna be able to look back on all this shit and be like, damn,
Yeah. That's what's cool
all the
too,
stories.
is if like nothing happens out of this, then at least I got some dope memories, some cool video to go back on and share with myself, my kids, whatever. We got some history right here. So we'll see what happens. And I'm excited for your future, no doubt. I always have been. I always know you're gonna, you know, do great things. So like I said, thank you for doing this, being a part of the process, and we'll see what happens. And
Thank
hopefully
you,
we can do
man.
this again.
It's been an honor, man. Like I said, thank you again. So yeah, I look forward to the next time. I'm sure I'll see you soon once all this shit blows over. But
Definitely at JonnyBubonik, Instagram, Twitter. You got
Twitter,
Twitter?
Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all of that.
All right, cool. You
You
got
know?
it.